And welcome to Nancy's Neighborhood, folks, on this wonderfully hot summer day. I'm ready for it to be September, okay? And today is 9/11, so we've all had a day to remember things, and that's the reason I'm in red, white, and blue today, because I read somewhere that I was supposed to do that. So, but my first guests are not dressed in red, white, and blue because they have a purpose for what they have on. So I'm thrilled to death to have the gals today from Common Thread Quilt Club, Marilyn Dunn and Norma Stansberry. And the reason that the table looks so pretty is because this is a quilt. It's one of their quilts, and we're going to talk about it. So, ladies, tell everybody about the quilt show that's coming up.
Okay, the quilt show is Friday and Saturday, September 27th and 28th. On Friday, it's open from 8 to 5, and Saturday, 8 to 4. We have tons of quilts for you to see and admire and wish you could do.
That's right, because every time I see them, I wish I could do. Yes.
And we have food. On Friday, we serve beans and cornbread for lunch, and on Saturday, we serve hot dogs. We have vendors, which we could use some more vendors, so if anybody out there wants to be a vendor, just give me a call, and I think you'll give them the phone number.
Yeah,
right?
I'll let y'all do that in a minute. But
Okay.
Beans and cornbread, Norma. I know you know I'm coming out there Friday, I hope. See, I'm just so upset about this because I've done this quilt show for probably 6, 7 years.
Exactly.
But I've got a conflict because there's another event that I have to attend, and I'm just sick because this is a wonderful, wonderful event. And I'm coming Friday for beans and cornbread. You said for lunch, but can I get it for dinner too?
You sure
Yes.
can.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
very good.
Sure can.
Very good.
This is the quilt that we made to give away as a door prize, and that's with the admission of $5. When you buy your ticket, you get a stub, and you put your name and phone number. You don't have to be present to win it. Our drawing is at 4 o'clock on Saturday.
And this is a certain pattern, and you told me it's
The bullseye.
bullseye. And I guess they can see that, I guess this is the bullseye in each one. But there will be, there's always a large amount of people that come through. But you will have quilters there that, Betty's, I'm assuming
Yes.
Betty's will be there
Yes.
with their quilt supplies, and there'll be other people there with their
Hider
quilt
Hangout
supplies.
is
Yes.
there.
Yes.
And then most of the other vendors are not quilt persons there. We have jewelry, bags,
Bracelet,
flowers,
yeah.
all kinds of
all
stuff.
sorts of vendors.
And you had baby clothes, I think, occasionally.
We do, yeah. And mostly a handmade craft. It's
Right.
something that the locals do for their hobby, and they want to share it with the community. So we're really excited to have that, but we just need more.
And I think there are people out there that in a minute we'll get the information of how they can call you and get registered to do that. But I always went out and set up as the Red Ribbon and had a great time. And let's talk a minute about food too, because you have fresh baked things too, don't you?
Yes, we do. We're going to have a food table. You can take home a pie or cupcakes, little cakes, whatever we have. We'll sell it to you at a reasonable price.
Very reasonable. Very reasonable. My husband used to go out there and would stock our freezer with cakes and pies and brownies and everything, and they're all homemade.
All homemade, yes.
And they are wonderful. Now, tell us a little bit about your quilt club.
Okay, our quilt club is just a group of ladies that gets together, and we meet at the little, what is it? The little place
Compassion
on,
Corner.
yeah,
Compassion Corner.
from Mount Olive, and we just have a great time on Mondays at 4:30, and we quilt. We do little projects, but our focus is on the quilt show, because we give most of the money away to charities.
Right.
And one of the charities is a Boys and Girls Club.
Yes.
And the others, I'm not sure yet, so I won't say.
Okay.
But I know we give to the Boys and Girls Club, and then they vote on the others.
And I know that you do whatever your profit from this, you all always donate. And I just think it's wonderful that there's so many people that quilt.
Yeah. Last year we donated to the Hurricane Disaster Fund and also to the Basket Fund. So whatever comes up, we like to support the local
Right.
events.
Now, roughly, how many quilts do you think you'll have displayed this year?
Hopefully, we'll have as much as we did last year, as many as we did last year.
And that was the largest.
That was about 170.
Golly,
So we were hoping to have that much this time. But they're already starting to come through. It's going to be a beautiful show, lots of color, lots of ideas, different patterns, and we're really looking forward to hanging it this year. This is going to be exciting.
And you've got them hung everywhere. I mean,
Yes.
they're hanging from the rafters. They're hanging from. I mean, it's amazing what you all
We
do.
squeeze a lot of quilts
You
into that
do.
building.
You
We
do.
And
And-
not all of our quilters are professional. They're just quilters, new beginners,
Right.
you know, people that want to learn to quilt. It's just a fun project.
I've noticed every year there's a kind of a theme that everybody learned. The new quilters learned a certain theme
Yes.
for that year. So you see several quilts that are that theme, whatever it is. And then after that, you see quilts like this, the people that have been quilting for a while, and there are some gorgeous quilts. I mean, absolutely gorgeous quilts. I'd hate to put one on my bed, but they're just, I mean, you know, but that's what they're for. And then also you all do, are you going to do the quilt?
Oh, the bed turning.
bed turning.
Yes, and that's, we take quilts that have a story, usually antique quilts or older quilts, and they're, you know, heirlooms that people have a story behind them that their grandmother made, and they passed it down to their mother and on, and it's just, it's one of the highlights
Yes, it
of
is.
our quilt show.
And you all do that about once an hour or something like
We
that?
do it about once every 2 hours.
Okay. All right. So if anybody comes out there, then they'll know that they can wait another 15, 20 minutes
Right.
and they'll have a turning. And that is so much fun. So how many people do y'all have in your club?
About 35.
Okay.
We're
Yeah.
growing weekly,
That's
which is a
good.
great thing.
That is
because
good.
there's a lot. Cleveland is growing fast, and we're getting
Yes.
a lot of people coming in that do quilt or they're wanting to learn how to quilt.
Right.
So they're all joining and trying to meet up with people who have the same interest. And so that our quilting club is growing by leaps and bounds, which we're really excited about.
That's great.
And we're really excited about that for the club, for the show this year, because that's new.
Right.
You know, it's new to them. They've never seen it. But this is a staple in this town. This has been
It
going on
is.
for
It
more than
is.
20 years.
20 years.
Yes.
Wow.
And we've had a lot of people come from out of town. They take their
Yes.
vacation, and they all end up in this, this quiet little place to see all these beautiful quilts.
Absolutely. And then I always love it because you have some of the nursing homes that pull their bus up and
Yes.
unload the people, and they come in, and so many of them can recognize some of the patterns and
Yes.
and things like that. So that's good.
I've already visited the assisted living places, and hopefully they'll be there this year.
That is great because I always enjoy seeing them come through because they're having such a good time. They're out, you
They
know,
do.
and
They
that is so
do.
good. Now, when people come in, they donate the $5 and they'll get a chance on this. But then they also get a little piece of paper, don't they, or a big piece of paper, and they go around and look at the quilts.
They pick their favorite quilt, and that person at the end of Saturday, we tally up the scores, and they win best or
People's Choice.
People's Choice.
And they receive a gift of $100.
Wow. Okay. Now, I have a quilt. I did the cross stitch on it, and then I think Norma put it together. I'm not really sure who down there put it together. But it's my Santa quilt. And I don't mind displaying it if you need another quilt.
Of course.
But if you don't, that's okay.
Anytime, we take it all quilts. We
Okay.
don't,
All right. So if somebody has a quilt they want to donate, how do they do that?
they could go to Norma's Place, Betty's Quilt Shop, or Susan at Hider Hangout.
Okay.
Accepts the quilts. Right
Okay.
now, our club, we don't have a place to store them, so we can't take them. So those are our two.
Okay. So how soon do those people want people to start bringing
We
quilts?
started last Tuesday.
Okay.
And they're starting to come in, like I said earlier. They're coming in right now 3 and 4 at a time. Each person is allowed to bring 3 quilts
Oh, okay.
to submit. They're no charge. They just fill out the paperwork and leave it with us. Then at the end of the show, they'll pick them back up wherever they dropped them off, whether it be at Betty's Quilt
okay.
Shop or Hider Hangout. So they're there
Okay.
to pick those up. And they are very secure. We have a they're logged in on a computer and the computers are removed off site, so we have that backup. There are security in the building, and then there's a team hired to spend the night with the quilts as they stay there.
Yes.
So they're very, very well taken care of.
Do you all spend the night?
I don't. She
we
does.
we have a couple
Okay.
girls that stay.
Okay.
Yes.
People
And
that don't mind sleeping on the floor.
Folks,
Okay.
folks are very protective of their quilts.
Oh, I know
so
they
We
are.
want them to know that they're safe.
I know they are. And another thing, and here I am, just my hands all over this quilt, which I know I'm not supposed to do. I know I'm not supposed to do that. But I've noticed that when people come in, the first thing they want to do is touch that quilt.
Yes. They want to see the stitching, the front, the back, the binding, how it's placed, so that because they're interested in the pattern and the design.
Right.
And we ask that they put on a glove because not that you are dirty, it's just that if you have 300 hands touching
Right.
it, it gets a
The
little
oil.
warm.
The oil and the
So
grease and
we
the
ask
this,
that you put a
yes.
glove on. They are provided at the front table when you come in. This year we're hoping to give a small gift as you come in, and we also want you to know that your ticket is good for both days. So if you buy
okay.
your $5 Friday, it's good for a return trip Saturday, so you can have the hot dogs and chili
Okay.
and
All right,
come on
so-
in and see us for.
Now, let me ask you this.
Okay.
Since I'm not an exhibitor this year, am I going to have to pay $5 to get in to eat beans and cornbread? I know. I'm donating. It'll
We'll
be
talk
fine.
to the
That'll be-
president.
That'll be fine.
If
That'll
you
be
want
fine.
if you want a chance to win the
If you wanna
quilt,
take this
Oh,
home, you
okay.
do.
Well, hey, what size quilt is this? Would you
it's a regular
double
bed.
double bed
double
quilt?
bed.
Okay.
The stubs also entitle you to win door prizes, which we have
that's
every
right.
hour or so. We have all of the Quilt Club members are preparing little baskets.
And all your exhibitors, I think, are asked
Yes.
to donate something.
And it's not quilt stuff. It's
Right.
different items.
Right.
So
So I just really hate it because this is a wonderful event. I want everybody to know that you need to go out there. Now let's tell them where it is.
it's at the Mount Olive Church of God gymnasium on Harrison Pike, and I can't remember the number. I think it's 3803, but I wouldn't swear to it.
That's okay because once you get on Harrison Pike, you just
can't miss
keep on
it.
going, and they're
There will
putting
be
up
signs.
signs,
Yes.
and there'll be signs directing you to the quilt show, and hopefully the people will get there. So again, the hours on Friday are going to be
8 to 5.
8 to 5. Okay.
And 8 to 4 on
Okay.
Saturday.
All right. Because I'm going to get out there. I'm just trying to figure out when I'm going to do it. But I'm going to get out there for beans and cornbread because it's really good. And the thing about the food, it's home cooked.
Yes, it is.
Absolutely.
It is.
And that's because I remember last year the health inspector was running late inspecting the kitchen, and we thought we weren't going to have beans and
No,
cornbread.
that's right. And no biscuits and gravy either.
Oh,
that's
there's biscuits
really,
and gravy
yes,
on-
there are,
that's
there are-
right.
For
there's
breakfast.
That's for breakfast. So see, folks, if you come out there and buy your $5 ticket, then you can come and go and eat and have a big time.
Stay all day.
Yes, and people do.
Yes,
They do.
Because you have a little sitting area, I mean, like a little cafeteria area, and they can sit and eat.
You're
and-
entertained by the bed turning, and then you can look at the vendors and the quilts.
and vote on
Your
Your
favorite.
people's
favorite.
choice.
Your favorite
And
quilt.
last year would have been tough because there was one on the wall right here from me that had either silver or gold threads in it. I can't remember. That's the prettiest quilt I believe I ever saw. But it's not something I would never put that on bed. But it was gorgeous.
Yeah.
There's some beautiful quilts. There's very talented people in this and I will be honest with you. After 18 years of quilting in this town, Ocoee region is the best kept quilt secret in the world.
And-
These people are phenomenal quilters.
And there are people who actually they look like pictures when they get them done. The quilt
Yes.
looks like a picture. It's amazing. But they don't, I mean, if someone wants to enter a quilt, they don't have to be that professional.
No, they do not.
Anybody, because folks, I promise you, my Santa quilt is not that professional except for what Norma did to it. That's real professional, but the other part's not. But they can take them to Hide or Hang Out or to Betty's and enter their quilt and just for it to be seen.
Yes.
And then, once, if they've entered, then do they get in free?
No.
No, they still, no. See, it's a fundraiser, okay.
Remember, this
I would
goes
just want
to
to be
charity.
Yeah, this
Want
is
to be
all
sure,
charity
want
for
to
the
be sure
town.
nobody gets upset because they have to pay $5 to come in and look at their own quilt. That's okay, but they do because it's for charity. So, okay, so how, you all have a Facebook page.
Yes.
And it's Common Quilts, Common Threads
Quilt
Quilt
Club.
Facebook. So if anybody wants to check that out.
Yes.
Yes.
And then is there a phone number? Does anybody want to be bothered with phone calls?
My phone number is public, and that's Marilyn Dunn, and it's 423-472-7567.
Okay, and so they can either go to the Facebook page, or they can go by Betty's, or Hide or Hang Out, and everything they need to know will be available to them then.
Exactly.
Yes.
And I've got to go by Betty's because I don't want you to get my spot away because I'm right there next. Okay, but this is so exciting, gals, and this is so good because and I wanted y'all on in time for people to know this is Saturday the 27th and 28th, Friday and Saturday,
Friday and
27 and 28.
And for vendors, we're the most reasonable, I think, in town.
Yes, you
It's
are.
$20 for a table. If you bring your own table, it's $15, and that's for the whole 2 days.
Right, and you'll let them rent 2 tables.
Yes.
So there we
Or
go.
4 tables.
Or whatever, $20 a table.
They also have the opportunity to come in on Thursday afternoon around 6 or so.
Yes.
And put their table. You can go ahead and preset your table because this is such a big event. Friday morning, we are ready to go at 8
Yes.
a.m. and there's people ready. So if you're
There
setting up
are.
a table, you're going to miss a couple of sales.
That's
So
exactly right.
come on by Thursday and set your table up.
Yes, because they're standing at the door waiting to get
Yes.
those biscuits and gravy and look at the quilts.
Exactly.
And ladies, thank you all so much for being on with me today. I
Well, thank
appreciate
you
it.
for having
and I'm
us.
so sorry I'm not going to be there, but I'm going to come out and get some beans and cornbread. And this quilt is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So thank you. I will be back.
Thank you.
But I'm
Thank
just,
you.
oh, I hate it. I hate it. Folks, don't go away. We're going to take a little commercial break here, and you know how I feel about the commercials. You need to watch our commercials, support our sponsors because they pay our bills. And I'll be right back with our favorite guest who's on once a month, and that's Andrew Hunt from the Public Library. And he's going to tell you everything that's happening there, and they have some new exciting news that's happening too. So don't go away. We'll be right back.